Hearing voices that told her to travel through Africa, journalist Lerato Mogoatlhe decided to embark on a 3-month West African journey and explore countries like Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Ivory Coast, Togo and Benin. 5 years later, she visited a total of 21 countries. Yep. 21 countries in 5 African regions. That's one person, by the way, and penned down her experiences in a travel memoir detailing her life and travels around Africa in a book she titled Vagabond, Wandering Through Africa on Faith. And to tell us more about her journey, Lerato is in studio with us this morning. A very good morning to you, Lerato. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Take us back to 2007, if you can, from when you decided to take a break and embark on a journey throughout Africa.
At the time, I was working as an entertainment journalist, and you know what, it was great because essentially you're young and you're getting paid to party and hang out with all these fabulous people. But actually the effect it ended up having on me was that I spent so much time writing about other people's lives and their dreams coming true. It made me ask myself, what is your dream? Because it wasn't writing about other people living the lives that they were destined to, you know. Yeah. So in asking myself that question, my answer was, well, the one dream that you've always had was to travel around the continent.
Sure.
Then I realized that the time had come for me to go for it.
I mean, this book details the expedition when you traveled 21 countries in just 5 years. How did that happen?
I went to Senegal, so the plan was to just go to West Africa for 3 months. Yeah. To Senegal, Mali, Burkina Faso, Ghana, Togo, Benin, Ivory Coast, right? I'd always been so curious about them. But I think on month 5, I was still in West Africa, and I also realized that I hadn't felt, I'm a very emotional person. I need to feel things or they don't resonate with my soul. So I had been in West Africa, the region of my childhood obsession, for 5 months, but it felt like a case of being there, done that, got the t-shirt. I did not have a big hoo-ha happening in my soul, you know. So I wanted to start over. I decided to go to Mali because my favorite artist, Habib Kwate, was going to headline the Festival of the Desert. And in that process of starting over, everything changed. Now it became journeys that I felt in my soul. Now it became journeys that as I was having some of those experiences, I kept on thinking, wow, my life is changing so beautifully. Oh, wow, I'm becoming a different person. I quite like this.
I mean, you said that, you know, for one to embark on a very smooth journey, one has to have a bottomless bank account. But that certainly wasn't the case for you.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of money. And you know,
how can you travel 21 countries and not break the bank?
I had never traveled before. And you know, lack of experience can actually help you sometimes. Because before I went on my trips, I had just been on 4 media trips, right? You know, media trips are nice. You looked after.
I know.
You have a spending budget, you know.
Tell me about it.
I had only been on media trips. So this was my first real experience traveling. My friend kept on saying to me, Lerato, you need to save. And I was saving, right? But I didn't realize that when you're traveling, when you're saving for long-haul travel, by save, it means that absolutely every single penny that you have, if it's not about eating or about where you're going to sleep, you need to save money. So I had a budget from my salary where I'd save a certain percentage and then the rest I'd do with it as I pleased, you know. Okay. So soon enough, I ran out of funding. I ran out of savings, and I was working as a freelance journalist, but the money would be paid as and when it came into my bank account. So I'd run out of money all the time. and I remember in 2008, the first time it happened was 3 weeks in Senegal or 2.5 weeks later, and I was so nervous and I was thinking to myself, what am I going to do? Where am I going to sleep? But by the time it happened again in Kenya years later, I was a pro. I was like, right, I'm going to hustle my phone. It didn't work out because I was using a 3310. But I went around town trying to pawn it so much, everyone took pity on me, and someone eventually went to the police station and said, listen, help this pathetic person who thinks someone is going to buy a 3310 in 2011. And the police officers all pulled their money together to help me get a ticket back to Nairobi.
You know, Lerato, one narrative that's being painted about Africa is that of an impoverished continent, a dark continent. I mean, it's painted in a very negative light. Did you get the sense that that is the case, or did you come up with some positives that came out of the continent?
That is not the case, and that's why I wanted to travel and write my travels. Africa has always been known as the continent of doom and gloom. You know, we're a breadbasket, there's so much misery. But we know, we work in news, we work with information. We know that there's always a bigger picture.
Yeah.
And news decisions are made completely separate from what the bigger picture is. Yes. So we'll always see Africa of doom and gloom. I wanted Africa as home because this is my continent. It's where I was born, where I was raised. Every single dream that I've had, the dream to write, the dream to become a journalist, the dream to travel Africa, the dream to be well educated, all those dreams were nurtured here, and this continent gave them to me. And it does a lot for all of us every single day. I wanted to showcase that Africa, that is simply our home. And you know, at home, you don't just focus on what's not working, you focus on the bigger picture. And yes, I did find there's poverty. It's true, because Africa is a very poor continent. Yes, there is poverty, but there's so much more than poverty, and poverty cannot be the only thing that we as Africans see when we look at Africa. How we engage with the continent cannot be on the same terms, using the same language and same frameworks of definition that someone in America does, because this is not their home. You know, there is no investment to them or an attachment to them about Africa, so they can think this is a hellhole all they want, right? But we are not in a position to do that.
Lerato, we don't have much time, unfortunately, but apart from your journey of searching for Nokia 3310, you went through some of the horrific things that you came across along the way, and including a guy who tried to force himself on you.
Yeah.
Take us through that.
That was so weird. I still kept to process it. So when I was in Ethiopia, in Hara, I hung out with this guy called Adis. Now, Hara is different from the rest of Ethiopia because Hara is actually very unique. People understand individuality. People understand that you can just be yourself and not have to act like a collective. So I loved that about Hara. It's a bit of a weird and wonderful vibe. It's the fourth holiest city in Islam. But in Hara, the right time to drink is when you feel like a beer. After lunch every single day, town comes to a standstill because everyone is chewing these narcotic leaves called khat. So Addis and I were chewing khat with someone else, and it was nice. And khat is a very social thing. It takes hours, you know. You don't just like chew khat quickly, it's done in 5 minutes. You can spend 3, 4, 5 hours just chewing, And after that, I went back to my hotel, and he came knocking. I don't know where he thought we were vibing. And he thought life was the movies, and he pinned me against the wall. And he wouldn't stop saying no. So I was just like, this is irritating me. And we're friends, so I feel very bad for what's about to go down, because I'm from Pretoria. I dare you. I dare you.
Yes, girl.
I dare
you. Girl.
You know?
Unfortunately, we don't have much time, unfortunately. I really wanted to hear that, but
Thank
unfortunately.
You so much.
But thanks so much for coming through, and sharing your story with us.
Thank you so much.
Well, that's journalist and travel enthusiast Lerato Mogoatlhe. She's been speaking to us about a travel memoir titled Vagabond, Wandering Through Africa on Faith. Well, you can also join us for our Sunday book feature to talk about some of the books that you're currently reading or have read. Whether you are a lone reader or belong to a certain book club, just send us some of your favorite picks. All you have to do is to email, Facebook or tweet us a picture of the book with a relevant caption. By using our social media platforms, you can use our Twitter handle @MorningLiveSABC or #MorningLiveSABC. You can